Good afternoon, you all. Sorry, I was muted there. Okay. Attorney Roundtree, whom are you here for, sir?
Richard Diaz, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Saldivar, whom are you here for?
Judge, I got an email and attachment to my calendar for an Eric Gonzalez, but I called the court to see if I got appointed to him. They couldn't find anything. I tried to email Miss Luna about it, but I haven't heard back from her. So I'm not ready. I haven't seen an appointment on that. So I don't even know if I should be here. It's just an accident that they added me. So I just decided to log on to make sure there wasn't, it was either an accident or I was actually appointed to Mr. Gonzalez.
Okay, very good, sir. I'm going to go ahead and put you in the breakout room with Miss Luna so we can figure that out. Okay, sir?
Okay, sounds good, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here, sir.
No problem. Thank you, Judge.
Checking it out. Okay, Marina, you need to go ahead and join Attorney Salvador in the breakout room, please. Hang on 2 seconds. What happened to Mr. Diaz?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay, alrighty. Okay, who is here? Pretrial officer for Mr. Diaz, or is this I don't see it as being a probation case, is it?
It's pretrial, Your Honor. I'm here. I'm his officer.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Ms. Brown, Officer Brown. Sorry, I was on mute. Attorney Roundtree, what's the cause number on this case?
It is Judge 684897.
897. Okay. Let's get on record on cause number 684897, State of Texas versus Richard Diaz. Thank you. Richard Anthony Diaz, parties please approach and identify who's before the court, starting with the pretrial service officer.
Morgan Brown for pretrial.
Yes, and what's your relationship to this case?
I'm the supervision officer for this
For?
defendant's pretrial case for Richard Diaz.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. And defense?
This is Tim Roundtree for Mr. Diaz.
And are you Richard Diaz?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, thanks for being here, Mr. Diaz. Appreciate you coming. Officer Brown, please tell us why we're here today.
We are here because a violation was submitted due to the vendor sending a high BRAC violation report.
And what number violation is it?
It's the first, Your Honor.
Yeah, it's his first violation.
Okay. And when did that violation occur?
The violation was submitted on July 12th. However, the high BRAC in question was blown on June 27th.
Okay. And this is based on a calibration report, or is it a real time?
Can you repeat that? It broke out on my end.
Not a problem. Is this real time that you received it, or is it based on a calibration report?
Based on a calibration.
Okay. And that calibration happened when?
We received the report. Let's see. He calibrated on July 11th, which is the day we received the report.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to speak to Mr. Diaz about this?
So the day he calibrated, he reported in as instructed, and he did inform me, hey, I calibrated, I did blow a violation this month. And he stated that he believed it was due to mouthwash. He was getting ready for work, went to go start the car, he blew a violation, and unfortunately stated that he didn't have time to test again. He had to get to his new job. So he did inform me on the day of his calibration, and I did notate it in his file.
Okay, so he informed you and talked to you about it on the 11th of July?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that was like an office visit, or when he came in, how did that conversation happen?
No, ma'am. I instruct after the calibrations, I have my defendants send a copy of their calibration report or let me know they calibrate so I can verify. And in that email, he informed me of the violation that he thought was due to mouthwash. I prefer my defendants to report in via email. That way everything can be documented.
Sure. Now, the thing is, how long have you been supervising Mr. Diaz?
I have been supervising him since May 14th, I believe he installed the device. It looks like on June 8th.
Okay, and that's in all 2022 dates that you're giving me?
Yes, I apologize. All 2022.
Okay, not a problem. Since the 8th of June, has he complained about any issues with the device?
Let me check his file. Not that I'm aware of. This was a one-time violation and he didn't seem to have any other issues. He's been in compliance before that and since that one high blow.
Mhm. Mhm. So what was the high back? What was the level?
It was a 0.061.
0.06.
Yes, Your Honor.
At what time?
7:30 a.m.
Okay. And no retest.
No, Your Honor, not until 7:41 that day. He passed with zeros. So about a 12-hour window when he did retest.
7:41 p.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then he had zeros.
Correct. All passed with zeros.
Mhm. Mhm. And you said it was the same day, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so that would have been on the 27th of June. Okay. Okay. And when you go through this, this is an ignition interlock, so supposed to be using his vehicle, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And if he's not using his vehicle, he's got to blow at least twice a day or what?
Yes, Judge. He did
Okay.
state the morning he blew, he did get a ride from a friend because he didn't have time to, I guess, mess with the device. So he did get a ride from his roommate, I believe.
Okay, but that's, but at least he blew twice on the same day, the 27th of
Mhm.
June, correct?
Yes, Judge.
And here we are, the 19th of July, and we haven't had another violation, have we?
Correct. He has stayed in compliance.
But we haven't had another calibration, have we?
He is not due to calibrate his device until August 8th.
The calibration occurred on the 11th of July. Okay, the next is August. Okay. Okay. Now, once you go through, once somebody goes through and gets ignition interlock, do you provide any instructions on the use of the device, or do they get that instruction from the vendor?
So during orientation and after the install, for orientation, we have them watch a video that does state not to use alcohol products. And after, we do send a document for them to review stating not to use alcohol products like mouthwash. However, I know that you have to find a specific mouthwash that's alcohol free to use. So we really just don't, we tell them, hey, don't use, and he hasn't had any issues since. But I assume the instructor at the vendor would also suggest the same.
Oh, okay. Do you assume or do you know for a fact that there is instructions provided by the vendor?
I do not know, Judge. To be honest, I haven't been in this section that long, maybe a few months. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. All righty. And then you say orientation, there's a video shown and it emphasizes avoiding use of alcohol products, and what else?
After they install the device in their vehicle, I send an after install document in a PDF or a Word doc.
Okay. Basically repeating what the video instruction is. Okay. And no complaint of as far as malfunctioning of the ignition interlock or the device, right? No complaints?
Correct. Not that I'm aware of, or not that I've been sent any.
Your Honor, may I speak?
You have your attorney.
Yeah, Richard, just hang on. Okay.
Counsel, questions for Ms. Morgan?
No, Judge, I think she's let you know. I guess the only question I have is, are there any instructions on if you blow a violation, when to retest?
Yes, usually I want to say it's within 20 minutes. I can pull the document from my file real quick and double check for you. I don't want to give you the exact, the wrong answer.
Well, that's okay. I'd actually like to get that document at some point. It would be helpful as a defense attorney to have that so that I can make sure my clients understand. Because as you and I both know, some people are more thorough on their instructions than others, and it may be that he wasn't given the oral instructions. We don't, we just don't know. So yeah, that would be helpful. Judge, I think Ms. Brown covered everything. I don't, Mr. Diaz is in good compliance. There's this one blip, and so I don't have any other questions.
Counsel, are you familiar with Smart Start?
Somewhat, Judge.
Okay. And also, I believe that they have, the reason I asked, they also have a video instruction.
Well, I'm not familiar with that, but I don't doubt you. I've never seen it.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just sharing. There is video instructions that they provide. It's online as well, and they do provide instructions when it's installed. So, but Counsel, do you need to talk to your client? He did have something to say. Did you want to go ahead and talk with him privately before any
Your Honor,
argument?
we've spoken. I don't really need to talk with him further. I believe he's already told Ms. Brown what happened, which was that he blew the mouthwash in there, and he's not going to have any further problems. And so he is open to any questions you may have for him. But when I'm looking at the report, it looks like he's clearly dressed to go to work. It's time to go to work at 7:30. And, he and I have spoken, and I have emphasized that if there were ever another violation, that he's got to do the retest. And I believe it was a new job. So I think that was part of the rush there.
Okay. Council 0.06 is almost the intoxication limit. Been doing this a while here. 0.6 is not mouthwash.
You know, Judge, I don't know. I've seen lots of, without the retest, it's truly hard to know, because I have seen very, very wide fluctuations in the alcohol, but you have seen, certainly, Judge, far more than I have. So I would defer to the court. I would just say, Judge, he was in perfect compliance before. He's been in, as far as we know, and I believe he would state, I saw him nod his head that he has not had any more violations on the instrument. So I believe Mr. Diaz is not going to have any further problems.
Oh, I'm hoping not. Okay, as you well know, within your familiarity with this court, we want people to go ahead and get in compliance and not have any more violations, and that's what I'm most interested in giving this opportunity to have the defendant heard and not making a decision in a vacuum as I can when I get a violation report, and many do, make a decision on that. And that's why I have these performance review hearings. But I also appreciate some candor with regard to the violation occurred. I wish to go ahead and give you another opportunity to speak with your client privately regarding this violation.
If you could put me in a breakout room, then I will talk with him.
Okay, all righty, thank you. I'll do that. We'll suspend the record. Attorney Rodriguez, good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. Doing well.
Very good. And you're here for?
Ernest Zamudio.
Oh, very good. Thank you very much, Counsel. And Officer Jennings, is that that is a probation case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Okay.
Am I excused, Judge?
Oh, no, Ms. Brown, we're just, the record is just suspended for right now. We're not done yet, okay?
Okay, not a problem.
Thank you. You've got time, right? You got a couple of minutes more? Ms. Brown, Officer Brown?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Counsel, Attorney Rodriguez, if I just beg your patience, I hate to jump into this one and then the Attorney Roundtree comes back with his client. Could we just give him a couple more minutes?
Yes, that's fine, Your Honor. I will wait.
Thank you. CLO Jennings is Officer. Good afternoon, Officer Quiroz. Are you here for Samudio?
Yes, Judge. Good afternoon. I am.
Okay, very good. And Officer Cisneros is here for,
Eric Gonzalez.
okay. Alrighty. And is Danielle Thompson, is she, I thought she was coming back today.
I'm not seeing her on Zoom,
Okay.
and I do be telling her to come back at 2 and for the CSO to send her a case setting form. But I'm not too sure. Let me see. I don't show anything was said or a reminder to the probationer.
Okay. Did you want to check on that while we're waiting?
Okay.
Officer Morgan, are you aware of coupons and things of that nature from the various vendors?
Yes, I do. I do believe that our office has some coupons for the first install, like a discounted or a free install for the Interlock.
Okay, for the various vendors, because they'll each have one.
Yes, I'll have to double check to get a list going. I know for sure the last time I was at the office, there is a little stack of coupons, and there should be an email PDF attachment for them as well.
Okay, alrighty. Yeah, they usually do have them. Okay. If not, let me know if you want me to wants to go ahead and send you a list of them with copies. Usually accepts the online version. So are we ready to get back on record there, Attorney Roundtree? Thank you for coming back. Your client has not made it out of the break room.
Okay. I
Do you
can
want
go,
me to?
I think I should be able to go back.
All right, getting back on record, cause number 684897, State of Texas versus Richard Anthony Diaz. Counsel, are you have any other questions for Officer Brown?
I don't, Judge.
Okay, argument?
Your Honor, I did speak with Mr. Diaz, and he actually has been having some fairly consistent error called abort tamper, which he didn't realize was something he was planning to tell them when he next calibrates, because he just has to wait and then blow into it again. And so clearly there's something going on with the device. However, and I've spoken with him, this was mouthwash, and I have seen things like that happen. Judge, in any event, I know that you want him to be in compliance with his conditions of bond and to have no other issues. I believe he will not have any other issues. He's been blowing into it, he says, an average of probably 3 to 4 times a day because of the need to drive the car. So I feel like if he were drinking and trying to get around this, you would have had other violations and seen things like that. So Judge, I would just ask that you would continue him with the same bond conditions. I believe this hearing itself is a strong admonishment to be careful to comply with all the rules, even ones like mouthwash that may not seem as critical until you realize how important they are. And so I would ask that you would continue him, and I appreciate Ms. Brown being here and making things clear for us.
So we do have some issues with the device.
The issue that Mr. Diaz has reported to me, which is what he was trying to tell you earlier when I cut him off, was that his device does fairly regularly say abort tamper. And then I don't even know what that means, but I did ask him, and he said, I just have to wait and then blow into it again once it says that you can blow. So clearly there's something going on with the machine, because it's not like it says that and then he doesn't blow. He's clearly providing samples that are fine. So there may be something going on with that machine. He will calibrate, like Ms. Brown said, on the 8th. And I know that he plans to raise that issue with them when he does that.
Okay, well, if that could truly have caused this or something of that nature, then I need for him to go ahead and be able to get that done, get those instructions, raise that issue before this week is out. Would that be okay?
Mr. Diaz, will you be able to get to the Smart Start and do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty, and I need for you to go through the instructions with the vendor again, and watch the video. And then I want you to send an email to your attorney and to the pretrial officer that you have done that. Okay, all by this Friday, or you can go ahead and do it by Saturday. But by Monday, I want that email gone to your attorney and to Officer Brown, that you've gone through the instructions again, and you understand. If you use mouthwash, you need to rinse your mouth out with water after you do that. That instruction is probably the very first thing that they talk about with those videos, okay? And the instructions from the vendor. If you don't get that, if they don't have that instruction in there, please let me know, okay? Officer Brown, and you may want to go ahead and check that out on their video presentation if that instruction is not given. Now, there are, as pretrial officers, and this is not an advertisement or anything for any kind of product, but just basically just to show you an example and sort of demonstrative evidence there. This right here says 0 alcohol, and it is mouthwash, okay? And it says 0 alcohol. So that is what when the pretrial service officers talk about products that do not have alcohol in them, that's what they mean. There are stores actually, or various stores that carry that. There's actually, I believe, a store in New Braunfels that specializes in non-alcohol products, especially NyQuil, mouthwash, those sort of things. So understand that I don't have a problem with a buy, what's that first bite rule, counsel, okay? With the mouthwash, and I'll let you explain that to him, counsel. But as your attorney has said, and you have a very good attorney, Mr. Diaz, whom I'm sure you would prefer for him to be working on your case and not on your behavior. You can control your behavior, right? You can control what goes in your mouth, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's have that happen and let your attorney do what he does best, and that is work on your case, what you hired him to do, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that sounds good. Well, thank you very much for your time and attention to this, and don't forget to send that email to your attorney and to your Officer Brown, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Officer Morgan, Morgan Brown, anything further?
No. If I'll go ahead and actually resend the after install document and the orientation video, and I'll CC Mr. Roundtree, and I'll send it to Richard as well.
Thank you.
Oh, excellent. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate that. All righty. And copy me on that as well, or send me a copy separately, okay?
Okay, I will do.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Very good report, and appreciate you being here, Officer Brown.
Are we excused, Judge?
Yes, you don't have anything. If you don't have nothing else, Attorney Roundtree?
No, I do not, Judge.
Okay, all righty. Thank you, Mr. Diaz. You're all excused.
Thank you.
Okay.
Officer Brown, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, have a good afternoon.
You too.
Good report. Okay. Counsel, are you ready to proceed? Attorney Rodriguez?
I'm ready. Where are you? Ready, Your Honor.
Okay, all righty. Would you be able to turn down your volume on that on your end? All right, let's get on record on cause number 649-265, State of Texas versus Ernest Zamudio. Parties, please approach and identify who's before the court, starting with the CLO.
Ashley Jennings, Court Liaison Officer for County Court at Law number 2.
CSO.
Alexis Quiroz, Community Supervision Officer for Ernest Zamudio.
Counsel.
Alberto Rodriguez for Ernest Zamudio.
All right, and Ernest Zamudio, how are you?
I'm doing very well today, Judge. How about yourself?
Say again.
I'm doing well, Judge. How about yourself?
Good. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Counsel, you know there is, you may or may not know, there is a 16.22 report that's associated with your client.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're aware of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, fine. Oh, great. All righty. Officer Jennings, when was the last court visit we had with Mr. Zamudio?
Yes, Your Honor. The last performance review hearing was on June 14th, 2022. It was reset for a month, which is for today. He was granted on September 7th, 2021 for 12 months for driving while intoxicated. Conditions were amending at the last hearing for parenting class, complete 12-step program 3 times a week. This case is to expire September 6th, 2022.
Okay. Yeah, so how has Mr. Zamudio been doing while on probation?
Well, since our last court hearing, Judge, on June 14th, he was ordered to submit me an email with his plan of action to complete his remaining conditions. So he sent me an email on June the 17th outlining how he was going to complete his AA meetings. He's supposed to be attending 3 times a week. He was having some trouble sending me documentation. So yesterday at 5 p.m., he attempted to send me a month's worth of AA meetings, which I haven't been able to research and continue to go through and see what days he's missed. So yesterday at 5, he sent me that. He just registered for his parenting class today. The date as far as when he's going to start is unknown. He hasn't provided me an actual registration date. He registered for the U Impact yesterday. He has 5 days to complete the U Impact. He submitted me a receipt this morning for an $80 donation to the San Antonio Food Bank for community service hours. He's made 1 payment since our last court visit towards his fees of $202. He did test negative for his on June 30th for his drug test. And he has made improvements to test daily into his ignition interlock device.
Is San Antonio Food Bank on my guidelines?
No, Judge, I did not give him permission to buy hours. I gave him authorization to work hours. So he took it upon himself to spend the $80 and he sent it to me today. But if you approve it, it's up to you, Judge.
And he has an ignition interlock?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the total community service hours he was assessed was how much?
His total hours assessed were 40, excuse me, one moment, 40.
Alrighty, and he's performed how much? How many?
Physically 0.
Okay. Alrighty. And what is this $80 supposed to be a credit for? What would be the equivalent?
For community service hours.
Right, and what would be the equivalent number of hours?
I believe, Judge, out of your court, you allow 8.25 per hour.
Okay,
So I can do the math. It rounds out to about 9.7 hours of community service.
okay. Can we go ahead and round that up to 10 hours and give him credit for that?
Yes, Judge, I will document that.
However, if he does that again, then we'll go ahead and take and round that down and add 20 hours. Need to
Yes,
follow
yes.
instructions, okay? Miss, okay, so far, alrighty, he needs to follow instructions. Alrighty, so let's talk about the U impact. He registered yesterday, the 18th of July.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and 5 days to complete. Okay. That 5 days to complete, that's something that U impact provides?
Yes, Your Honor. It's their deadline.
All righty, okay, so they register, they have 5 days to complete. Do you know what happens after 5 days? And they may, let's say they haven't completed it?
I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming they'll keep the money and make him register again.
Okay, all righty. Would you do me a favor? Would you run that down for me?
Yes, Your Honor, to find out exactly what happens if they do not complete it in the 5 days.
Yes,
Yes, Judge.
thank you. The parenting class, you said that was registered for when?
He sent me an email today that he registered for a 10-week parenting class. However, he did not provide me the specific date that he was going to begin the class.
Oh, what organization?
With SA Hope Center.
SA who?
Hope Center.
Are you familiar with that center?
Yes, Judge, they're on our list and they provide free parenting for.
And it's free?
And it's free.
Oh, great, okay. Ready. See. Some of the things that has been addressed with this, and you say you got a plan of action yesterday.
He
Or
emailed
2
me the
days
plan. He emailed me the plan of action June the 17th.
Oh, June 17th. Oh, okay, that's right, that's right. Okay, so with that plan of action, is he going through that action plan?
Minimum requirements, yes, because he's attempting to fulfill his requirements.
Okay, because the supplemental report that initiated this, in which I wanted to go ahead and ask for this performance review, it indicated that he hadn't worked on anything, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so since then, did he start working on stuff just after the action plan, or did he start working on stuff before?
No, he worked on stuff after the action plan.
Okay, all righty. And that's what part of what we discussed on the 14th of June?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, all righty, very good. Okay, there we go. So at least we got a plan of action in place. And it's indicating that, and then he has taken some steps to work some of that, to do something to show good faith that he plans to work this probation and complete his probation, right? Kind of
Yes,
a show of good faith.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all righty. And it's improving on testing on his ignition interlock. What do you mean by that?
Last court hearing, I discussed how he was not testing into the device daily like he was supposed to. But now since our last court hearing, I've reviewed the ignition interlock report, and I do see him testing now.
Okay, so is he not using the vehicle?
I believe he said he was sharing the vehicle with his son, but now he's using the vehicle.
Oh, okay. All righty. So did you calculate how many engine starts or anything like that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all righty. Just wanted to know whether it was, the average. Okay, all righty. Counsel, do you have any questions for Officer? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, before I turn it over to you, Counsel, excuse me.
No, not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes, sir. Officer Kudos, on the payment fees, how's he doing?
Since our last court hearing, Judge, he did submit a payment of $202 towards his fees yesterday.
Okay. And what's his total assessed?
$1,405.
Okay, so how is he delinquent?
Yes, Your Honor.
By how much?
By $840.20.
Mhm. And is that the same as his balance, or his balance is more?
His balance is more, yes, Your Honor. His balance is at a total of $987.
Okay. And this is end of July, August, September. We're looking at maybe not even 2 months.
Correct, Judge. He does not have that much time remaining left on his term.
Okay. And probation, what is the optimal, or let me see if I can ask this question. When do you wish, does probation encourage probationers to complete their requirements by when?
2 months prior.
2 months prior to expiration date.
Yes, so around this time, he should have been wrapping up maybe a last payment, have already been done with his classes. Because if not, we may need to ask Your Honor for extension on his term since he has not finished yet his requirements.
Okay, all righty. And if they comply, and is this instruction given to them, the suggestion to get their requirements completed 2 months prior to expiration, is that
Yes.
provided?
Yes, Your Honor, I've spoken with him, reminded him of his termination date, reminded him of his termination date and how much left he has to do on his term.
Sure. And is that up to the CSO, or are they told that our probationers told, hey, you should at intake or orientation, you should try to complete your probation 2 months ahead of time?
I tell them, Your Honor, I don't know specifically the wording that is given at orientation during intake. but they are informed of the amount of time that they have to complete the term, the conditions.
Okay, all righty, thank you. Thank you. Officer Jennings, would you go ahead and run that down for me if that's provided at intake as far as the general or orientation, if that suggestion is made to probationers, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thanks. Attorney Rodriguez, do you have any questions of Officer Quiros?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Okay. Do you need a minute to talk with your client?
Well, I just, I want to advise him of a few things that we need to get straight. Yes, I'd like a minute to just talk to him.
Okay. If you could, Attorney Rodriguez, I think you're a little too close to your computer, so it comes over with a little bit of, so it comes over, so if you could just,
Turn it down?
sit back. Yeah, okay, great, fantastic. So go ahead, and I am so sorry, say that again.
Yes, I'd like to have a minute with
May I
Mr.
put-
Zamudio.
Okay, may I go ahead and put you guys in a breakout room then, sir? Okay. Go ahead and accept the invitation. Alrighty, fine, great. All right, Ms. Officer Cisneros, you're here for who?
Hello, good afternoon, Your Honor. I am here for Eric Gonzalez.
Oh. Okay. I don't see him in the breakout room. I mean, not in the breakout room, but in the waiting room. I don't see him there. Is he on Zoom and I don't know?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I have not been able to communicate with him in several weeks. Last he reported in, basically he knows he's not in compliance with his conditions. And so his last conversation with me was that, he felt he had a warrant. So he was just kind of like taking things as they came, but there has not been any progress on his case. So I wasn't surprised if he didn't show up today.
Oh. Hmm. Yes, it's at 0935-763. And he was supposed to show up in person. It's 763. 0935-763. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Well, when did you have an opportunity to speak with him?
Your Honor, I last spoke with him on, I believe it was 6/14/22. And that
Okay.
was for an upcoming court date for 6/15 to report in person. That conversation took place over the phone. I basically passed on the message that, the courts had made changes to his original performance hearing. And therefore he was requested to report on the 15th of June at 2:30 p.m. in person. And his response was, well, that's not what I was told. I didn't agree to that. And so I told him if he had any questions to contact his counsel, because he was asking why he was going to court. And I told him it was for a 2-month performance hearing or a compliance hearing on his conditions, and he hung up. So he didn't show up on that date either.
Okay. So, I mean, does he understand that the import, I mean, and the nature of these performance review hearings is to help him to be able to go ahead and get in compliance?
Your Honor, during our initial meeting back in May, I expressed to him, I reviewed his conditions of probation in detail, and attempted to get him to understand, what he is required to do in order for him to be successful. I've given him all the tools that he needs to comply, to get started, and his attitude was very aggressive, argumentative, and I had to dismiss him because he would not allow me to tell him, okay, well, this is what you got to do, and this is by when you have to comply, and so on and so forth. And his argument was that he doesn't have money and nobody's working with him. So he was dismissed. I wasn't able to complete his TRAS assessment. And since then, like I mentioned, I tried getting him back into the office, try speaking with him over the phone. He has not been compliant at all. And so just given his lack of compliance since granting probation, and his demonstration to and willingness, lack of willingness, I don't feel like he is at this point in time willing to be on probation, or better yet, be rehabilitated. He did submit a drug test, and his drug test came back positive for marijuana. And obviously he's been using, but his last drug test on file was recorded on the 7th of June. And so that came back positive for marijuana.
Well, I mean, how would he know whether somebody's trying to work with him or not if he doesn't show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what this is all about. We're trying to go ahead and work with him. Okay.
And Your Honor, it's kind of difficult because when he did show up, he didn't come in to provide a proof of residence or employment. The residence that we do have on file ended up being a bad residence. I did send my field officers out there, and there was nobody that was available. It was just a bad address. So the defendant does not live there. So we are not aware of where his current location is.
Oh. That is a problem. All righty. Well, I guess I'm going to have to change my recommendation on this, and then probation, you do what you need to do, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty. I mean, I want to be able to work with Mr. Gonzalez, but he has to show up in order for me to work with him. Just show up. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's going on, how we can be able to help, what adjustments need to be done. Let's just talk about it and see what we can do to be able to help him. But if he cannot show up, we can't be able to help him. All righty. Well, Officer Cisneros, thank you very much. I'll be looking for documents from you regarding this because you say you saw him on the 16th and he hasn't shown up. Shall we go ahead and just try to give him, he's just got on probation. He was just granted, right?
He was granted on,
The
he was granted
16th.
on the 16th of May.
Okay. Can we reset this for another 2 weeks and see whether we can reach out to him and let him know that we're trying to work with him? And but he needs to show up and he needs to want to work with us as well, because working with him means that he has to work with us, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's give him another opportunity and explain to him that we're wanting to go ahead. Specifically, we want to work with him, but he needs to show up in order for us to work with him and for him to work with us. He needs to work with us as well, okay?
Yes.
And then if he's not showing and reporting to you and he has not reported to you, he knew about this setting, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I did leave him a message on his telephone, left him a message, I sent him an email, sent him the case setting form, and I never got a response. I did emphasize that we needed to talk, that he was not in trouble. We were just going to review his conditions. And if he had any questions, to call me or contact his attorney. I believe his attorney was here earlier, but he was released for breakout. So I don't know if his attorney has contacted him.
Oh, the attorney that was appointed. I thought Mr. Salvador was mentioned some other person's name. Is that who you mean?
I
Or
believe
just
so.
Salvador?
Yes,
Did he say Gonzalez?
yes.
Oh. Okay. Ms. Luna, was Mr. Salvador here from Mr. Eric Gonzalez?
What is the cost number, Mr. Gonzalez?
It's cause number 639382.
Yes, but he's not appointed to the case.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. I have Nympha Carrillo. She's the one who was the lead attorney, lead counsel for the case, right? And then, well, I'll sort it out with you. Let's go ahead and reset it for. Officer Cisneros, did you provide him a case setting form?
Yes, Your Honor, I sent that case setting form. I emailed that to him. But once again, he did not ever acknowledge it.
Okay. And is that the email? Was that the last email that you have?
His last
record for him?
on file, yes, Your Honor.
Have you been able to communicate with him before on that email? Has he responded to you before?
I did ask about him receiving any documentation. He said yes, he received it when he conducted his initial meeting with me. But since then, I have not received anything from him from that email.
Hello?
Okay, but he was able to receive his conditions and sign them?
Yes.
You have a signed copy of his conditions
Yes, Your Honor.
with his signature on it?
Yes.
Okay. Would you be able to provide, huh?
I'm sorry, he signed his conditions on May 23rd, 2022.
Okay. Would you be able to send a copy of that to the court so that we can have it here? Because the copy I have here for him is not signed by him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thanks. Do you guys mail out case setting forms?
No, we have not. I am not that I am aware that we do. But even if we did, the address on file is incorrect.
You've already verified that that address is no good.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there a way to scan, are you in communication with him by phone? You have communicated with him by phone?
The way I have communicated with him is through his associates list. I've had to call down his associates list, friend, mother, grandmother, and anybody that answers, basically I have them, get a hold of the defendant and request that he gives me a call back. That's how I was able to communicate with him during our last telephone conversation. And that's when I told him that he had a meeting with the courts and he was not having it. So he hung up on me, and that was the last time I've talked to him.
Officer Cisneros, thank you so much. I know that it's very difficult to to go through all of this, and I really appreciate the hard work you're doing and the due diligence that you are performing on trying to get a hold of Mr. Gonzalez and assist him in getting compliant. Let's go ahead and, if you would, persevere and let's give him another 2, max 3 weeks to see if we can get a hold of him. Let him know through his associates that we really want to be able to work with him, but he's also has to be willing to work with us, and reset this and give him another 2 to 3 weeks to get it to show up. And if not, then you must do what we need to do to get him compliant, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Get him on track. All righty, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kimbrough. So Charles.
Okay. All righty, Officer Cisneros, do you have another case this afternoon?
No, Your Honor. I
Thank
don't.
you so much. You're excused.
Thank you.
Let's get back on record on cause number 649265, State of Texas versus Ernest Samudio. Is he back from the breakout room? Yes. Hello, Mr. Samudio. Thank you for coming back. When we suspended the record, counsel, you needed to talk with your client. Are we ready to proceed, sir?
We're ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Alrighty, thank you. Go ahead, counsel.
Your Honor, if I may address the court with just a few words. I tend to be not as sympathetic as some when it comes to these kinds of violations. Mr. Samudio needs to know something.
Counsel, Counsel, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but can you just sit back a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
It is much better.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't realize that. Anyway, I wanted to, Mr. Samudio, to know a few things because I am concerned about his DWI because I can tell him from firsthand knowledge. You see, I have not touched an alcoholic drink, nothing at all, since December 27, 1987.
Wow.
So I know that he can do it. And he needs to realize that he cannot do this by himself. But if he's a spiritual person as I am, then we need some help from above to guide us. And so I hope that he completes his obligations to this court, that he becomes a better person.
Yes, sir.
And that he just does everything out of love for his family. Because I know that this drinking, especially drinking and driving, is no good. No good at all, Your Honor. And I am going to say that. And hopefully he will comply with all the directions because we spoke about all that when we chatted. And I think he is remorseful, realizes his failings and what he is going to do about rectifying all of this. And these are all the comments I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Mr. Samudio has tried, he has, as we just reviewed, is that he's got this plan of action in, he's been on probation. He was granted in September 2021, correct? 27?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, 2021. All righty. And so he's been on probation for a little bit now. And he just kind of got in gear here back in June. All right, Mr. Samudio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. So the thing is, I'm glad that you're trying, but you've got to kind of listen already. You've got to listen to your CSO and kind of follow directions from your CSO, especially Officer Quiros, okay? She's a very, very good officer, okay? And as you can see, she's trying to help you. She tells it like it is, but she will work with you. You understand that, Mr. Samudio?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been able to see that myself.
You've seen that for yourself, huh?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good, very good. I'm glad that you have observed that. So she's going to need some information. I mean, she can only report what you do and what you're able to provide her. Proof, evidence. I've done this, here's this certificate. I've registered, this is where I've registered for the class, this is how long it's gonna be, here's my registration. I've gone ahead and donated, can I know where to donate again? Where are the places I wanna donate for the community service? What are the different places I can donate to? And she will provide that information to you, okay? I hate for you to go off and be donating. I'm gonna give you credit. And I even rounded it up to give you credit, right?
Yeah.
Sure, I don't have a problem, but if you don't ask her the different places that you can donate in accordance with my list and you go off and do something else, I'm going to double your community service hours that you have to. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so make sure that you communicate. That's the word I wanted to go ahead and use with you, and make sure you talk to Officer Quiroz and get guidance from her, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Making sense so far, sir?
Very clear, Your Honor.
Okay, do you need to go through a financial analysis with her, or did you guys already do that so that we can start working on your payment?
I believe we did before. It's just, like I said, I was going through some hardships, but as I stated the last time we were in court, I've been putting in the hours, and if my probation is extended, I know I can get caught up. If it's until September, I will do my best to make a payment every single week.
Okay, alrighty. Yeah, small bites, small payments, they add up to the same amount, instead of trying to do a big chunk, that usually hurts.
Like you said.
Sure, but you pay $10, you pay $20. That's not so bad as, oh, I'm going to pay $200, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so be making those regular payments. It all adds up. So I appreciate you going ahead and trying the efforts that you have made thus far. And that is what's important, that you're making efforts. It took a little while, but you could have been done by now, and you should have been done by now. Your attorneys work hard for you to get you the best deal. And when the only way that you can thank your attorneys for working real hard to get you that good deal that you want is to turn around and be successful on probation. Okay, because you kind of make a deal with your attorney. You tell your attorney, yeah, I can get this done in 12 months. And he gets you that deal. And then you don't do anything for 7 months. That's not really fair to your attorney, is it?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And so let's go ahead and how much time do you need? Do we need to extend you for?
See, we're in July, we got August, September. Actually, can I look at an email real quick? Because my classes wouldn't end until October, and I would like the chance to get that certificate before, which is what you asked me to take, was the parenting class, and around that time, then I can have everything done.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Am I waiting for you? Or are you waiting for me, Mr. Samudio?
I'm sorry. Okay, I was on mute. I'm sorry, Your Honor. The last class for me to complete for my parenting classes would be October 26th.
Okay. And what about completing all your other requirements?
We can set something for November. I can, show improvement in my payment, my delinquent balance and my fees, and continue with the ignition interlock, whatever is necessary to get this matter resolved.
Right. Okay. So, what about his other classes, Officer Quiros?
He's, the only other class remaining is the U Impact program.
He has to get that done?
Yes, Your Honor.
It shows I have until Saturday, Your Honor, to complete that one. If not, then I would have to pay again and redo it.
Oh, is that what they tell you?
Yes, that's what they told me. Is and registration.
You know, you kind of fade in and out.
I'm sorry. Yes, on the registration it says if I don't complete it by the deadline, then I have to repay to get certified.
Oops. Okay. You've got the notice. You got to get it done, right?
Yes, sir.
You don't want to. I mean, you don't want to go ahead and throw that money away, do you?
No, I can't afford to be throwing any money away.
Okay. Alrighty, good. Alrighty, and and we'll look at it. So why don't we visit again? Officer Quiros, when do you think we should visit again?
2 months, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So between now and then, we should be able to have at least U Impact done and some other things done. Okay. And we'll go ahead and extend you to about December. Would that work, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so we'll extend now. How many is that? Is that October, November, December? 3 months?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm thinking that you're probably going to need a little bit more time than that, but let's take it in small increments so that you're not on probation for a very long time, okay? You're only on probation for as long as you want to be, Mr. Samudio. You're the one who's keeping yourself on probation.
I understand. The only question I have, Your Honor, is with the extension, does that add to my fees?
Oh, do you want me to add more fees to you?
No, I'm asking with an extension, does that add more to the fees or does it stay at where it's at?
Your fee stays the same. I'm not going to add any more.
Okay.
I'm not going to add any more supervision fees right now. Maybe a second extension I might, if we have to.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, all righty. So, so we'll go ahead and extend you 3 months. We're gonna keep you on that ignition interlock, okay, for term. All righty, you owe me that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and keep that ignition interlock to term. And you need to go ahead and get that parenting class and tell us, is that Essay Hope, when are you gonna start that?
The class will start, it starts last week of August, Your Honor. So by the time that we meet again, I will have it complete.
I can't hear you. I really can't.
It starts the last week of August, Your Honor.
Whatever you just did, keep it there, okay? Because I can hear you. What up? Okay.
It starts the last week of August, and which if we're extended to December, I will have it completed before that.
Okay. Mr. Smoothie, I don't know what's going on with the device, but you keep going like Okay, so
Are
it
you able to
goes
hear
in
me
and
better
out.
now, Your Honor?
Much better. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Okay, so it starts the last week of August.
Yes, it's a 10-week course. So come by the end of October, I will be complete.
Make sure that you get that information and a copy of that registration to your officer. When will you be able to get that to her?
I can try to get it to her this week. The email that I sent, it provides a date, but I will let my case manager know that I need something a little bit more specific on my registration.
Oh, okay, okay. The case manager,
Yes, her name is Rebecca Mayo for the
That's-
SA Hope Center.
okay, okay, very good. Alrighty, excellent. Alrighty, and please, dear 12-step Officer Quiroz, on the 12-step requirements or the community-based sober support meetings, how often do you want it? Do you want it weekly, every 2 weeks?
I would say weekly, Your Honor, until he gets enrolled in the parenting, and then, once he starts with the parenting, because I believe the parenting will be weekly, then we can maybe push him to every 2 weeks.
Okay, so you want him to report to you the community-based sober support meetings. You want him to report that to you every week?
Hello.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
Your Honor.
okay, there you go. So, Mr. Samudio, every week you need to go ahead and give her your attendance at those meetings, okay?
Okay, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Proof of attendance. If you do
Yes.
it online, they need to verify it with her. If you're going, do you go to SA Hope Center?
I've been there twice now. So I'm learning about all the programs they offer still.
Okay, very good. Are you going there for the 12-step programs? That's one 12-step meetings. Is that where you're going?
No, that is for my parenting class, Your Honor.
Right. So where are you going for the 12-step?
I've been doing it in the rooms. It's online classes that I take.
Okay, so it's online.
Yes, ma'am.
Where, with what organization?
It's called In the Rooms.
In the rooms?
Yes, In the Rooms AA meetings. They also have like narcotics, different types of services they offer.
In the rooms is the name of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do they have a way of being able to provide a third-party verification? It's like, it's not from you, it's from them to verify with your CSO.
I'm not too sure if they do, Your Honor, but I wouldn't mind giving Ms. Quiroz my information to log in if she needed it to log in herself to check it.
I need her to be able to have verification of it. So find out how that gets done so that she will be able to go ahead and have verification.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all righty, very good. Make sure that we get that. I prefer that they send something to her directly, either her email to say that you have attended.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll see what I can. I'll email the organization and see if there's something I can get for her.
Sure, I appreciate it. Or give them a sheet and they can sign it that you've attended, something, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty, well, again, thank you for the effort that you have put forth, coming up with that action plan. Good job on that. And getting all this registration done, don't lose any money of it, and making some payments. You did a good job. You made a good effort, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All righty, we'll see you in a couple of months, all right?
Thank you.
Okay, Officer Quiroz, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Officer Jennings, some instructions?
Yes.
But hang on 2 seconds, so sorry. Counsel, anything further for on this matter?
Yes, just a short statement, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
If not coming in too loudly? Can you
If
hear me?
what?
Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I feel, speaking to Mr. Samudio, I know his heart is in the right place because when I asked him about the money he donated to the food bank, he mentioned that it was to help others. And I know he's financially having a lot of problems, but he needs to remember something that Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta said. And she said, give of what you lack, not what you have left over. It'll be difficult for him to complete all his obligations, but he must do it, even though he lacks it. And that is all I have to say, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Counselor. Really appreciate those wise words. Officer Quiroz, have you also gone over with regard to community service restitution, some of the alternatives such as voter registration, census, vaccination, to see if Mr. Samudio qualifies for any one of those or has any proof that he can give you so you can give him 10 hours community service? Like if he's vaccinated for COVID, that's 10. That's 10.
I will go over that with him and offer those alternatives.
Okay, very good. All righty. Now, Officer Jennings.
Yes, Mrs. Samundo, you will be getting through Adobe Sign amended conditions of your probation to reflect the extension for 3 months and keep your ignition interlock until term. Okay, please sign and date and return. You will also be reset for 2 months. Just look out for the case setting form from your officer, okay?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Counsel, if there's nothing else, and Officer Quiroz, is nothing else, thank you very much, Mr. Samudio. Appreciate you being here. And again, well done on the efforts, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Officer Quiroz, are you here for Danielle Thompson?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, alrighty, you're all excused, thanks.
Thank you.
Ms. Thompson? Miss Danielle Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon. How you doing?
Hi, good. You?
Oh, good. Not too bad. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. So yesterday, I appreciate you coming back. So now we tried to have a hearing with you, and we let you know, and you came back today. So let us get on record. I don't have her file. What's the case number again, please?
Yes, and Judge CLO Kimbrough will be covering for me and CSO Francois.
Okay, excellent.
Okay. Thank you. And
thank you.
You're welcome. I'll give you the case number before I log off.
Okay.
The case number is 653-174.
All righty. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you.
Too.
Appreciate it. Okay, Officer Kimbrough, what's the let's get on record on cause number 653-174, State of Texas versus Daniela Thompson. Parties, please approach and identify who's before the record. The court, starting with CLO.
This is CLO Charles Kimbrough, covering County Court 2.
Thank you. And are you, and you will also,
I'm sorry, Judge, I had to close the door. I'm sorry.
Okay, not a problem. And you will also be covering for the CSO?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, and are you Daniela Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Again, appreciate you being here. Officer Kimbrough, when was the last court visit with Ms. Thompson?
Her last performance review was the 9th of March of 2022, Judge. She was granted on the May 25th of 2021 for 18 months for driving while intoxicated. At the last hearing, she stated that she was not enrolled in Alive at 25 due to her work schedule and funding. She also mentioned that she received her vaccination and she was hoping to get the credit for 10 hours. This hearing was set to get a status update, and this case is set to expire in November 24th of 2022.
Is that all that she has? Now putting on your CSO hat, is that all she has? Is that all she has to go ahead and complete for, is the Live at 25?
From my records, Judge, looking at her file and everything that I have here, she has not completed any of the classes, according to what I found in the file. And she has paid $1,402 and has a remaining balance of $155. She has not done her community service yet. And let's see here.
What was the total? What was the total fees that were assessed?
1,000. I'm sorry, my screen just changed here. Let me get it back. $1,557, Judge.
Okay, and she's paid $1,410, you said?
$1,402.
Oh, okay. 14.2, okay. With that balance of 155, okay.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
then CSR, for the community service restitution, she's paid how much?
To date, there is no record of her paying anything, Judge, but if with her vaccination, she's hoping to get 10 hours out of her.
But what was the total hours? assessed?
40 hours, Judge.
Okay, and do you have proof of the vaccination?
She has not provided it to us yet, Judge.
Okay, so she's done 0.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And so Alive at 25, that class is still pending. And what other classes are pending?
The U Impact, the DWI education, and the aggressive driving course.
So this was what was this? This was a you said this was a DWI or obstruction?
It's a DWI, Your Honor, deferred.
So this is a DWI first?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is that all that is lacking at this time? Any other matters? Concerns?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Those are the only ones that are lacking right now. She is currently on Interlock and she has had no violations since the last hearing.
Okay. Okay. When is that due to be, what is removal? When is it due to be removable?
Her start date was November 19th of 2021, Your Honor. And it was extended. She would normally do 6 months. It was extended for 2 months. So actually it's due to come off here in the next month or so.
Let's see. So we have the uimpact.com, DWI education, and is there a tab recommend? Does she have a tab?
Yes, Your Honor. She had a TAP, and the TAP has no treatment recommendations at this time other than random UAs.
Okay. So has she had any UAs?
Yes, she has. Where is that? Okay, her last UA was the April 28th of this year, and it was negative. And it looks like she was UA once a month from June of wait a minute. Yeah, from June of last year.
Anything else?
The officer is making a recommendation that it's time for the interlock to be removed. It is time. Extend her 3 months and to amend the condition to complete DWI education, U impact, and aggressive driving within 60 days and reset for 90 days to monitor progress.
Okay. Ms. Thompson,
Yes.
do you wish to speak with me, or do you wish to go ahead and have an attorney kind of go through everything with you and sort things out?
No, it's okay. Like some of the stuff he's saying, I've done already. I don't know if it's because
I'm sorry, what's okay?
no,
I
it's
asked
fine.
you a question. Do you wish to go ahead and speak with an attorney to help you sort things out?
No, it's fine because
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay, I need that answered in affirmative or negative or whatever, okay?
Okay.
So need that question answered. You say do not wish an attorney, you wish to have an attorney help you out with this, huh? Is that correct?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, and you're okay with talking with me?
Yes.
Okay. The just right off the bat, let me let you know, okay? Well, let me let you go ahead and talk. Let me listen for a minute. You're saying what?
Oh, like some of the classes I've already done, like the DWI, I've done it, and then right now I'm doing the U impact. I had enrolled like a couple of weeks ago.
There you go.
Okay.
How come your probation officer doesn't know about that? What? Uh-oh.
I think we just lost her.
Oh, no.
You will give it a few minutes, Judge. I think she may come back. It may come back, cycle back on.
Sure. Oh, there she is. There she is.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
it kicked me out, ma'am.
Not a problem. Let's go ahead and rename yourself, first name and last name.
Okay.
And you should check on that. It needs to go ahead and save. You can save that.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did I fix that?
These batteries are not lasting very long. Go ahead. Yes, sir. I am using it. Ms. Thompson, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So please continue.
Oh, I don't know if it's because like the probation officers, like I've already had two already and they've been like switching. But some of the stuff that the man was saying, I gave them like my COVID of the picture of it. She asked for it and I sent it to her. And then I've already completed my DWI class and I sent that to the probation officer as well. And I've just been paying like the fees and like the Interlock and the calibration and all that stuff like I've been doing. But I just don't want to make it seem like I'm not doing anything when I clearly been paying, you know what I mean?
Okay, so you say you have gone ahead and completed the DWI education.
Yes, ma'am. And then right now I'm doing the U Impact, but that one's like 5 days. So I'm just waiting for that to finish.
Okay, so you registered for that and you're working that one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, when did you register for it?
I registered last week.
When?
I'm sorry?
When?
Last week?
When last week?
Wednesday when I got paid.
When did you get paid?
Wednesday?
So Wednesday you registered for it?
Yes, last week.
Well, then it should have expired by the 18th.
I'm sorry?
It should have expired by the 18th. Aren't you given 5 days to complete it?
Well, with this one is like the DWI, so I can like pause and keep going, but I have until a couple of days to finish it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes,
You still
ma'am.
have some time. Okay, very good, very good. What'd you learn out of it so far?
I'm sorry?
What have you learned from it so far?
Not to basically do what I did, like no drinking and driving.
Yeah, okay. You learned that right as soon as you got arrested. What have you learned from the U Impact?
Just to be like aware of my surroundings and not to be like, to be good.
To be what?
To be good. Like not, I shouldn't be doing what I did back then, but I don't do that anymore.
That's what you're learning from U Impact?
Yes. Well, I hope I'm doing the right one.
Yeah, you might want to go ahead and check and make sure that you do have the right course. It's uimpact.com.
Okay. Well, I hope so. I paid for it.
Have you sent that registration to your probation officer?
No, ma'am, I've been trying to get a hold of her for a couple of months, but I have not been able to get a hold of her. And yesterday was the first day that I actually, when she like called me and talked to me, but that was the first time in a couple of months that I was able to talk to her.
Oh, okay. Does she have an email address?
Yes.
And you know what her email address is?
Yes.
Okay, so what keeps you from emailing her the registration, proof of registration?
I didn't really know I needed to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't know that you're registered. She can't report it and say, hey, she's registered at least.
Oh, okay.
She can't report what she doesn't know. So then all she can do is report that you haven't done it. You're not doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
And if you don't have the DWI education done and the certificate and the aggressive driving course, and they don't know about that, and they're live at 25, they don't know about that, they can't go ahead and report that.
Yeah.
And they can't transfer it from one probation officer to another.
Okay.
If they don't have it. What do you mean? Are they supposed to kind of guess and say, oh yeah, she must have registered for that course?
No, from like the first probation officer, I would think in my head that she's gonna send it to the new probation officer, but that never happened.
Okay, so then, because remember who's on probation? Who's on probation?
Me.
If the probation officer say messes up or something like that, who's gonna suffer the consequences?
Me.
So then if you're communicating with your probation officer and you write an email and say, hey, are you transferring all of this information to the new probation officer?
No.
Right?
Yes.
That would have been something that you should do, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then the probation officer, new probation officer, you can email her and say, hey, have you received all this information? These are my requirements, because you know what your requirements are, right?
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Again. Okay. So if you know what your requirements are, you can go ahead and say, I've completed this, and I sent this old probation officer the certificates of these on such and such date, so she can look for it.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And then be able to verify to you that she has it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so there won't be a guessing game with you. There won't be a guessing game with her. And there won't be this, I haven't talked to her. I mean, why you need to talk with her when you can just send her the information? You have her email address.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then it's documented at least on your end, right?
Yes.
And then you can go ahead and be able to provide that right away to the CLO or probation officer and say, hey, this is the email I sent.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, alrighty. That ignition interlock is not going to come off until your probation officer has that documentation of the classes that you have completed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, because I that's part of the policy. I don't. You have to complete a couple of those. At least one DWI related education program in order for me to take that ignition interlock off.
Okay.
And I'm pretty familiar with those courses. Okay, so when I ask you about them, I'm pretty familiar with them. Did you ascertain that from my conversation with you today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when you start talking to me about it and just telling me generics, or they're telling me don't drink and drive, like I said, you should have gotten that wisdom from the time you were arrested, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That wisdom may be repeated to you during the course, but that's not what the course is about, is it?
I'm sorry?
That's say that wisdom that you've gained about drinking beyond the legal amount, drinking intoxicated and driving. That wisdom that you gained upon being arrested, it may be repeated while during these courses, right?
Yes.
But that's not the real important message of the course, is it?
No.
I mean, if you're paying attention to the course, you should gain some other information, some more insight, other than, oh, I'm not going to go ahead and drive while intoxicated.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you come here and I ask you, hey, what are you getting from that course? And you tell me, oh, I just shouldn't have done what I did. Is that telling me that you're listening to the course and getting anything out of the course?
No.
Okay. Should we go ahead and check in next month, see how far you are and what you did have completed and what you have not?
That's fine, ma'am.
Okay, that'll work. And we're doing very well on the fees, and we've got 0 hours, and you're wanting to go ahead and get that ignition interlock off on time, right? When it should be. So you're gonna communicate with your probation officer.
Yes, I'll send her everything that I sent the other one.
Okay, that's your priority. So let's reset for next month for 1 month. And let's see how you're doing on communicating with your probation officer, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay, so make sure that you reach out to your probation officer and you say, well, I did meet with the judge today, the 19th of July, and she said that I'm going to be reset for 1 month. Could you tell me the date that reset is, right?
Yes.
So you're going to be proactive. That's what we call proactive because it's your probation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Sounds fair. Sounds good. Anything else, Officer Kimball?
No, Your Honor. She seemed to understand. As soon as she gets that paperwork in, the easier it'll be for her.
Okay. All righty. So you'll communicate with Officer Jennings about the reset.
Yes, ma'am.
See how that works, Ms. Thompson? See how I asked him to verify that he's going to communicate with the CLO? Because he's filling in for Ms. Jennings, you heard that. So I asked him to go ahead and make sure to communicate with Officer Jennings, and he verified that he would. See how that works?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all righty. We'll see you in a month, okay?
Okay.
All righty, thank you. All right, Officer Kimbrough, thank you so much for jumping in there.
Oh, you're very welcome, Judge, anytime.
Right. You're definitely the backbone of these courts. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good evening.
You too, thank you. We don't have any more, right, Officer Kimbrough? That's it?
No, ma'am, that was the last one.
Okay, thank you. Have a good one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that'll do it for us. Uh-huh.